What's up everyone, Pratima here, and Realme is back with yet another smartphone. This one is a budget offering, the Realme C65 5G. Now I don't usually review budget phones on this channel, but this one specifically caught my eye because it has been launched for around like 10,000 rupees in India and it features some competitive specs for the price. I have been using this phone for around 2 days now, and something that I can say right away is that if you're looking for good performance in a budget price, at the same time if you're looking for a smartphone that has great cameras, this is it. Plus it also has a nice design and it's a 5G phone, so very competitive as I said. So let's unbox this device and talk more about it. Now I have to confess, I have already used this phone, but I don't want you guys to miss out on the unboxing experience, so I'll do it once again. And we can see the standard Realme packaging, bright yellow box right here. SIM ejector tool. Okay, we also get a plastic case, not bad for a budget phone, not bad at all. And then we have the phone itself. Okay, nice. And then we have charger. This is a 15-watt brick and this is a Type-C cable, so that is all we get inside the box. And something I appreciate is that Realme has actually given a pre-applied screen protector here, which saves you a lot of trouble. Okay, so let me start with one of the major highlights of the Realme C65, which is its performance. This phone is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 6300 chipset, and the C65 is the world's first smartphone to feature this very chipset, and I'm very happy about the performance. There has been no lags or stutters whatsoever. Light multitasking is possible without a hiccup, and app opening and everything is fairly fast as well. So as I said, I'm happy with the performance, and in fact budget gamers will be extremely happy to know about the gaming results of this phone. I played PUBG and Call of Duty on this device, and both of the games ran at 40 FPS smoothly. And something I have to tell you is that this phone has a gyro sensor, yes, but while I was testing games, I felt it to be a little laggy. Now this is a budget device, so I can't really complain, but I just thought you guys should know. By the way, the MediaTek Dimensity 6300 is a 5G chipset. Alright, so let's move on to one of the other highlights about the Realme C65 5G, which is its design. Look at this device, guys. It does not look like a budget phone at all. In fact, its design is actually similar to the more expensive Realme P1, so I'm happy about that. The build is plastic. It's a budget phone, so I don't think we can expect much, but the build quality is solid. You can see no creaks, bends whatsoever, and the edges are very well made, so the build quality here is great, and I appreciate that. On top of that, you're also getting some extra features like IP54 rating, so you know, even if you take this phone out in slight rain, that should not be a problem. Something else I appreciate is this tiny little punch hole. You know, brands like Samsung don't really focus on the overall aesthetics in the budget segment, but Realme has focused on giving a very nice, clean appearance, so I am happy to see Realme breaking that stigma. Okay, so while we're talking about this tiny punch hole, this also behaves very similar to Apple's Dynamic Island. It does not have that many functions as Apple provides. The most you can do is you can check out music playback and there is battery indication, and that's it. But Realme says that they will come up with more functions, so let's see about that. Now talking about this display, this is a 6.67 inches IPS LCD display. This is an HD display, but it has 120 Hz refresh rate, which not many brands provide in this price range, to be honest. Now I'm not going to lie, since this is a budget phone, the color reproduction and the sharpness of the display is just decent, nothing to write home about. If you use it in the natural mode, it might seem a little bit dull, but if you switch to the vivid mode, things are much more pleasing, and you can actually get very decent content consumption experience on this phone. And as I said, this is a 120 Hz screen. It also switches between 60, 90 and 120 Hz depending on what's on the screen, and the switching happens very swiftly, so I'm happy about that. Its brightness is also sufficient enough. Indoors it's ample, but even outdoors when you're in a sort of like shadowy areas, visibility is not an issue. It has almost like 625 nits of peak brightness, decent enough for the price. And this display also has some additional perks, like it has rainwater touch, which is a feature that's similar to what you get with OnePlus's flagship phones like the OnePlus 12 and 12R. Alright, so let's move on to one of the other good things about this device, which are the cameras. The camera performance, as I said in the very beginning, on this phone is awesome, and that might be because of the superior ISP that the MediaTek Dimensity 6300 has. This phone has a dual camera setup, by the way, 50 megapixel primary camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. That 2 megapixel pixel depth sensor is practically useless, but its primary camera is actually very good. I especially love how this phone is able to maintain good dynamic range in difficult situations, which is something you don't see most of the budget phones doing. Even in normal images, you can see that the details are decent and you get like Realme's punchy color reproduction, which is like pleasing to the eyes. The Realme C65 handles human subjects well enough too, although the exposure management in the background could do a little bit work and the edge detection is not perfect. Also, there's this red tint on the subject's face, which might not look good all the time. The selfies from this phone are good enough too. It preserves good skin tone and the details are not bad. Even during nighttime, this phone does a good enough job, although I would suggest you use night mode for better details and exposure management. Now, the videography side of this phone is strictly average. Since this is a budget phone, you only get up to 1080p recording option from both the front and back cameras, and the selfie videos are actually usable. From the rear cameras, the stabilization is not that good, so it's only good enough for casual recordings. Alright, so on the software side, this phone boots on Android 14, which is good to see because many Redmi phones don't come with Android 14 out of the box. No shade to them. Yes, this phone has a lot of pre-installed apps that come predominantly on this phone, but you can uninstall most of them. Realme has given you that option. And one thing that I do with all the Realme phones when I boot them up is turn off the personalized ads and recommendations for a more cleaner experience. I would recommend you do that as well. Alright, so before moving on to the battery, let's get done with some of the extras. You get a single speaker setup here, and the speaker performance is not bad. I would say at the highest of volumes it can get slightly buzzy, but if you listen to it at 90 to 95% volume, you can actually get some good listening experience. And at the same time, you're getting a fingerprint sensor here on the power button. It's a capacitive sensor and it works very well. It's fast and accurate. Finally, let's talk about the battery life, and the Realme C65 comes with a 5000 mAh cell, and it gave me around 7 to 7.5 hours of screen on time even on heavy usage, so I was really impressed by that. But charging could be a little bit of pain in the neck because with the 15-watt charger that you get inside the box, this phone takes slightly more than 2 hours to get fully charged. Alright, so with this, we've come to the end of this video, and I have to say that I've had a good time with the Realme C65. If you're looking for a good performing 5G smartphone under a budget that has good cameras and balanced overall specs, I think this is the best smartphone that you can get under 10,000 rupees. Yes, the display is HD here, but since this is a budget phone, I don't think I need to complain much. Good thing is that you get a nice design and the cameras and performance are not compromised. So yeah, it's a good phone and it's definitely up for my recommendation. So everybody, that was all for this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And turns out 80% of our viewers are not subscribed to our channel, so a subscription from you guys would be great. Saying this, I'm Pratima Adhikari. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon.